Hey guys, it's bro, you ice sojourn. Hi, Widowmaker.
Pathetic.
No, don't be mad. You're still my favorite, but did you see Sojourn's thighs though? Hey guys, it's bro, you whack, and yesterday we got a behind the scenes look of Overwatch 2. Now, I already posted a video of my live reaction. If you want to look at the whole entire thing of the behind the scenes look of Overwatch 2, then check out that video, because in today's video, it's gonna be your one-stop shop of everything that's brand new in Overwatch 2, or at least everything that's brand new so far. In this video, I want to showcase all the big and important things that are going to be coming into the sequel of Overwatch, which is a lot, so that you're not wondering, well, what's going to be in Overwatch 2, or is there any big things that are going to be coming to this game? And also that way, you have a video to share with your friends that are also wondering the same thing. What's going to be in the sequel of Overwatch, in case they are wanting to invest themselves with the Overwatch franchise today with Overwatch 1. So let's finally get it started with a brand new hero. The hero that we saw the most, surprisingly, in the behind the scenes look of Overwatch 2 was this hero called Sojourn, a Canadian hero that has an assault rifle and a railgun built into one single weapon. This is obviously going to be a new DPS hero once Overwatch 2 comes out, but it's not yet confirmed if it's going to be exclusively in Overwatch 2 or if it's going to be coming out before the sequel of the game comes out. Another thing a lot of people are going to be hyped about are the brand new maps, and there are two new PvP maps, which is Rome and New York. Rome, obviously hailing from Italy, takes the ancient architecture that it's most known for and slaps it into a modern Overwatch city, where you're going to be able to, what I'm assuming, move a payload throughout the map. Since it is ginormous, it has specific streets to possibly move that payload through. And then, of course, New York, where you're going to be able to run through the streets of New York City with tall buildings everywhere, bodegas, pizza parlors, you name it. If you're a New Yorker, this is probably the map they're going to fall in love with the most. Honestly, I'm just looking forward to the rats wearing Tim's calling me up and asking for a bacon, egg, and cheese, B. And there are also brand new maps with the new hero missions, but we will talk more in depth with the brand new maps when that section does come. And something I'm sure every single person is looking forward to are the new classic redesigned skins for heroes. And we got 4 brand new redesigned skins for McCree, Pharah, Reaper, and Widowmaker. McCree has a new color palette with red and black, but still is sporting his cowboy look and has a new scruffy beard, which, oh, can he look any more daddylicious than he already does? Pharah's new classic redesigned skin kind of has the least amount of changes to it, where it still has the same color palette and still kind of sports that same armor look, just has a more advanced look to it, I guess. Reaper's looking edgy as ever, where he has a more dark silver look, where he's sporting a popped collar, and his iconic skull mask now has a little bit less bone marrow to it and is a little bit more cutting edge. And Widowmaker, oh baby girl, Widowmaker, I think I'm about to sip for that ponytail! One thing I want to emphasize though is that these are redesigns for their classic skins. Their goal wasn't to completely redesign the look, it's to keep the integrity of the heroes that they originally designed, but updating them, just like with Widowmaker, by doing a simple upgrade to her hair by braiding it. Now, those are just some of the big takeaways that I personally got from the Overwatch 2 behind the scenes look, but now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty, first and foremost, with PvP. In the multiplayer side of Overwatch 2, the developers are experimenting with this thing called role passives, which are specific passive abilities for your role: tank, DPS, and support. And examples for these passive abilities could be for tank, where you have knockback reduction, say if a Lucio boops you, where you're not going to move backwards as much. And for DPS, if you're flanking around, your speed is increased so that you can do more safer flanks. And for support, you have a more self-healing passive, kind of like how Mercy has it right now. And they also said they're experimenting by giving new abilities to heroes, and they used Ryan a lot in this example, where they said they gave him 2 fire strikes and you also have more control over your charge. But the thing that I'm most excited about is the fact that you're able to cancel your charge. The meme is finally dead, where terrible Reinhardt players have no excuse for charging into the enemy back line. Thank you, Daddy Jeff. But I also want to emphasize that these changes might not ship out in Overwatch 2. Again, these are all experiments, whether it's the role passives or the new abilities that they give to heroes, but they are wanting to make heroes feel a little bit different in Overwatch 2, but not completely taken away from their core that they're known for. But please keep that Reinhardt charge ability. We need that desperately, Blizzard. But one of the coolest things that they're upgrading in Overwatch 2 are the sounds. There's more dynamic sounds when you melee gameplay when you shoot your gun, and specifically what environment that you're in, whether you're in an enclosed area or an open area. I mean, just take a look with the Soldier 76 sound.
Now we're sporting outdoor, urban outdoor, warehouse tales, tight tunnels, small rooms.
And it's not just Soldier, every single hero is getting an upgrade to their sound for their weapon, whether it's Widow Sniper or Reaper shotguns or even McCree's Magnum pistol. And the interactions whenever you do shoot these weapons are getting upgraded as well. Say with Soldier 76, if you hold down the trigger, the screen is going to have a short little shake to mimic the recoil that you would typically have with an assault rifle. But the final thing for PvP that I think every single Overwatch player is excited about is that 2CP could potentially be leaving Overwatch 2 forever.
You know, we're of the mindset maybe 2CP doesn't exist in Overwatch 2, and maybe there's a new cool game mode that replaces it.
That's right, you heard me right. Everyone's least favorite game mode on Temple of Anubis, on Volskaya Industry, or Drawskaya Industry could potentially be leaving Overwatch 2 and getting replaced with a completely brand new game mode. Now, we don't know what game mode could potentially replace 2CP, or if 2CP even is going to be leaving, but we do know that Push is going to be a new game mode in Overwatch 2 and could potentially replace it in the competitive rotation. But enough about multiplayer. Now let's talk about PvE, the campaign side of Overwatch 2. This is obviously the meat and potatoes of Overwatch 2, where we're going to have a lot more things that we never really experience in the Overwatch game itself. First and foremost, with hero missions. Think of this like heavily upgraded versions of the Archives missions that we played during the Archives event, where you're going to be able to do specific objectives on already existing Overwatch maps and brand new maps. But also on the existing maps, they're going to be adding areas for you to do the objective, be it like on King's Row, where they're going to be opening a gate and allow you to capture an objective in this new area of the map. And the objectives for these hero missions can range from stuff like Gather and Return, where you have to go and gather these canisters and return it to a specific spot in the map, or stuff like Wall of Death, where you have to destroy waves of enemies while this death wall encloses you, kind of like the Fortnite circle, if you want to describe it like that, and Kill and Quest, which I think is just going to be like Left 4 Dead style, where you have to destroy waves upon waves of enemies, kind of like how the Archives mission is right now, but also progress throughout the entire map. And one of the coolest things about the PvE mission specifically is the fact that you have these dynamic worlds, where stuff like on Temple of Anubis, you can have a sandstorm, or on Petra, you have a dust storm. Toronto, there's snow fogging up the whole entire place, rain on Paris. And then we're also gonna get maps that are taking place in the morning, afternoon, and at night, sort of like Ilios, where it has the normal daytime map, and then it has the afternoon map for like CTF. And we also can get that same dynamic with like New Bonnie, where we have this beautiful African sunset, and it's specific to that map because of where it takes place in the world. But what about actually playing these campaign missions? What can we expect? Well, if you remember back at Blizzcon 2019, we had the progressions and talent tree system where you're able to pick different types of abilities for specific heroes, and they totally turned that up to level 11 by giving us different character trees, kind of like how it is in Spider-Man. Here we're gonna get different kinds of abilities for every single hero, and the more that you play these campaign missions, you're gonna be able to unlock specific abilities. Like they showcase abilities with Soldier 76, where he has his AoE heal follow him wherever he walks, and he also has a boop ability too. And those are just a few examples of the many different abilities for specific heroes out of the hundreds that are gonna come with all of the heroes, which is gonna make these campaign missions feel unique every single time you play them, with not only the hero missions, but also the different abilities that you can unlock after you start to level up your heroes. And they also upgrade the enemies. Thank freaking God, because the enemies that we have in the Archives missions are literally the same, and here they gave not only more unique enemies to fight, but also upgrade the already existing ones. Like with the grunts that we typically fight, now there's elite grunts with upgraded weaponry. Or new enemies like the Breacher that kind of reminds me of the Boomer from Left 4 Dead, that is this big, heavy, slow zombie that just completely explodes after a specific amount of time. Slicers, which we've seen before in the Archives missions, and the Gliscor Bomber that kind of reminds me of Gliscor from Pokemon, that is this flying thing that drops bombs. And we also have what is known as my wife, the puller. Someone that screeches out this loud scream, and every single time you hear this sound, you get freaked out because you know she's coming, and what she does is that she sucks you in, and even though you want to be sucked into her because, God, she looks so hot, you can't because you're gonna die. They've also just upgraded how the enemies die, either by their armor getting completely demolished but them still being able to function, or just them clashing into each other after you do kill a specific enemy and they fall backwards into their homies. Overall, the story and the campaign for Overwatch is going to be a lot more dynamic, whether it's with the character trees or how you fight the enemies or the enemies themselves, but also just with the story in general. Heroes that we've played with constantly in the multiplayer, we're going to see come to life and interact with each other that we really haven't seen before, and based on the story, it's going to cause different kind of campaign missions for every single player to experience so that the campaign is unique to you specifically. And on top of that, we're also going to get new campaign maps that are specific for the campaign, like with India, that's going to take us to, well, obviously India, Gothenburg, which is Torbjorn's workshop, where they specifically made it for someone who is a smaller person like Torbjorn, with like step ladders everywhere, and of course Toronto, all of which are going to have more dynamic weather environments to these maps. But now I want to give my final thoughts of Overwatch 2, and it's not really even my thought, but something that stuck out with me the most that they said at the very end. Overwatch 2 is like 5 games in one. And after explaining everything that's new coming into Overwatch, yeah, it kind of does feel like that. We already have the multiplayer side, but we're also going to be getting new skin upgrades in that multiplayer. And then we have the campaign mission that's going to have character trees from RPGs like Spider-Man that I talked about beforehand. We're also going to get a new story that we really only see in campaign games. And we're also going to see more dynamic maps to existing maps and brand new maps, and we're also gonna see character dialogue and more animated shorts within Overwatch 2. I mean, when you really think about it, every little detail within Overwatch 1 is getting upgraded, but then on top of that, we're getting new stuff in the form of a story and a campaign and a character tree. And after seeing all this, yeah, it kind of makes sense as to why they didn't release it in 2020 or in 2021. But then you might ask yourself, okay, but when is it coming out? And we don't know. Blizzard didn't announce a release date for Overwatch 2. And while I don't want to say that's justified not releasing a release date, I mean, when you look at everything that they're bringing, yeah, it's gonna take a long time. And I think they know that they would disappoint a lot of people, say if they were to say Overwatch 2 is coming out in 2025. And you might think that's absurd saying, oh bro, you're right, they won't take another 4 years, but when you really think about everything that's going on, something as simple as upgrading gun sounds, they gotta quite literally travel to a different part of the world and shoot a few assault rifles just to capture the right sound to implement into their game. In the world that we're living in right now, that can definitely be difficult. But I will make a separate video talking about the fact that we still don't have a release date, because I'm sure there will be some people that are worried, like, oh, what if it does come out in 2025? Well, there's reasons as to why, but for right now, we have a lot to look forward to. I mean, so much. This behind the scenes look blew my expectations out of the water, where the only thing I was expecting was a release date. And that kind of sucks because that was the only expectation that I had, and it exceeded it, but it missed the one thing that I wanted. But let me know what you think about everything that is coming into Overwatch 2, and I'll see you guys later. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.